All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the tiny, unsung heroes that power our entire world. We're talking about the fundamental components hiding inside every single piece of tech you own.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? You tap a screen, you press a button, and magic happens. But it's not magic. It's actually a beautifully organized symphony of incredibly small parts, all working together in perfect harmony.
And that's really the secret, It's not one giant, impossible-to-understand thing. It's just a whole bunch of simple, single-purpose components. Think of them like Lego bricks. Once you get what a few of the basic bricks do, the whole world of electronics suddenly starts to click into place. So here's our game plan for today. We've grouped these 10 essential components by what they actually do. We'll start with how they control the flow of electricity, then see how they direct it. After that, we'll meet the heavy lifters, and we'll finish up with the brains of the operation and how they talk to us.
Okay, let's get into it. The most basic, most fundamental job in any electronic circuit is managing the flow of electricity. It's kind of like water in a pipe. If you just let it rush through, you get chaos. You need to control it. And that's where our first couple of components come in.
First up, meet the resistor. The best way to think of this little guy is like a dam on a river. Its one and only job is to resist or slow down the flow of electricity. It keeps more sensitive parts of the circuit from getting fried. And its value is totally fixed, so it's a super predictable and reliable workhorse.
But what if you need a dam where you can open and close the gates to control the flow? Well, that's a variable resistor. It does the same basic job, but you can actually change its resistance, usually with a tiny screwdriver. You see these all the time in circuits that need a bit of fine-tuning, like adjusting the sensitivity of a light sensor.
So, to just boil it down, a regular resistor is all about a fixed reduction, like a permanent narrowing of the river. A variable resistor gives you active control over that flow. One is set it and forget it, the other is all about adjustability.
All right, so we've got the speed of the flow under control. Now we got to tell it where to go. This next group of components, they act like traffic cops for electricity. They set up one-way streets and make sure everything is moving in the right direction. And this is the chief traffic cop right here, the diode. Its job couldn't be simpler. It is a one-way street for electricity. Current can flow in through one end, but it is absolutely forbidden from coming back the other way. This is so important for things like converting the AC power from your wall into the DC power that all your gadgets actually run on. And the cool thing is, you can just look at it and know which way the traffic is supposed to flow. Current goes in the anode, the main black part, and comes out the cathode, which is always marked with a stripe. That little stripe is basically a do not enter sign for electricity trying to go the wrong way. Simple as that. Okay, so we're controlling the flow, we're controlling the direction. Now let's meet the components that do the real heavy lifting. We're talking about storing up energy and flipping the switches on some serious power. Now think of a capacitor as a tiny battery that can charge up and discharge in a blink of an eye. Its job is to store up a little bit of energy and then release it exactly when it's needed. This makes it the perfect filter, smoothing out any little bumps or noise in the power supply to give the rest of the circuit a clean, steady stream of energy to work with. Now, capacitors mostly come in two main flavors. You've got your electrolytic ones. They're polarized, meaning they have a positive and a negative leg, and you have to hook them up the right way. They're great for storing bigger chunks of energy. Then you have ceramic capacitors. They're smaller, you can hook them up either way, and they are masters at filtering out those tiny high-frequency jitters in a circuit. And now for one of my absolute favorites, the relay. This is where it starts to feel like magic. A relay is a switch, right? But you don't flip it with your finger. It's an electromagnetic switch. And what that means is you can use a tiny, completely safe trickle of electricity to control a huge and maybe even dangerous amount of electricity.
So, imagine you've got this tiny little signal, just 5 volts, not enough to even feel.
But inside that relay, that little 5-volt signal energizes a tiny magnet, which physically pulls a lever and flips a much bigger switch. And that switch is controlling a massive 250-volt circuit. This is exactly how your little thermostat, with its tiny batteries, can safely turn on your giant air conditioner. It's a tiny giant doing the heavy lifting for us. So cool. We have officially got the power under control. Now, it's time to get smart. This last section is all about the components that do the thinking, the processing, the amplifying, and the communicating. These are the real brains of the operation and the face they show to the world.
If there is one single component that defines our modern world, it's this, the transistor. It basically has two superpowers. It can act as an amplifier, taking a tiny signal and making it huge. And it can act as a mind-bogglingly fast switch, turning on and off millions or even billions of times per second. Every single computer chip in the world is built from billions of these little guys. They changed everything.
Next up, we have the voltage regulator. You see, really sensitive electronics like a computer chip, they need a super precise and stable voltage to work right. This component is like a bodyguard. It takes a higher or maybe even a fluctuating voltage, say 12 volts, and it knocks it down to a rock-solid, perfectly constant output, like the 9 volts this particular chip is built for. No more, no less.
So what happens when you take everything we've just talked about, the resistors, the capacitors, and especially the transistors, and you shrink millions or even billions of them down into a package smaller than your fingernail? Well, you get this, an integrated circuit, or an IC. It is literally a city on a chip, the complete brain of a device, all in one tiny, neat package.
And finally, how do all these smart circuits talk to us? Well, a lot of the time, it's through something like this, a 7-segment display. This is the face of the machine. By just lighting up different combinations of its 7 little LED bars, it can show us any number from 0 to 9. This is what you're looking at on your alarm clock, your microwave, your oven. It's how the numbers get out.
And there you have it. From the humble resistor all the way up to the mind-bendingly complex IC, this is your basic electronics toolkit. These 10 tiny titans, working together in endless combinations. They are the Lego bricks that build almost every single piece of technology we use every day.
So the next time you pick up your phone or turn on your computer, you'll know it's not magic. It's an incredible tiny city of components, each one doing its simple job perfectly. And that really leads to one last question for you. Now that you know the basic building blocks, what could you create? Thanks for diving in with me.